Hey guys, it's Jake. This is an update video, I suppose you could say. I haven't made one in the past month or two, I'd say. And I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of an update on exactly what is going on with the channel. I'd like to go ahead and apologize for the short uploads today between this and the Five Nights at Freddy's video. It's not going to be that much content for the day. And B, even more apologies for tomorrow, where I will have no uploads. Probably. Unless something happens with Far Cry 4 and Dragon Age where they release a day early. Sometimes they do that. It happens on rare occasion, but it does happen. So, otherwise, unless that happens, there's not going to be any uploads tomorrow. And I apologize for that, but the reason why is pretty simple. It's purely just to get my ducks in a row for those two games. And by that, I mean research, my good friend. Research. It's very important, especially for Dragon Age Inquisition. Not so much for Far Cry 4, but Dragon Age Inquisition, I'm looking up some, fairly basic stuff on the lore, because I've never played a Dragon Age game before, so I'm really interested in the whole thing. I'm honestly, Mass Effect is my favorite series ever. It's what made me a gamer in the first place, and BioWare created that as well as Dragon Age, if you're not aware. So I've never tried any of the Dragon Age games, but I'm actually interested in them. I heard Origins is like one of the greatest RPG games of all time from some people. I don't know how valid that truly is, but that's what some people say. Dragon Age 2 apparently wasn't as good. Some people actually just outright hated it. But, yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm setting up the stuff for Dragon Age Keep. I pre-ordered Dragon Age Inquisition on Origin, so everything's kind of squared away on that. I have it preloaded, so once the game releases, I'm up and ready to go to start playing. Far Cry 4, on the other hand, not so much preparation. It's more so just getting, space on my hard drive allocated and set up correctly for that game to be released. It's funny how both Dragon Age Inquisition and Far Cry 4 together, I mean it, together, if you combine them and their memory, they equal about the same amount as the entire game of Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed Unity. Which I found kind of funny, considering that both of those games, I assume, are going to be much better than Assassin's Creed Unity. And, segue, Assassin's Creed Unity. Let's go ahead and talk about that for a second. I know there's a couple people that are enjoying that series, but for the most part, it's not that popular. There's, here and there, some people will watch it, but overall, it seems as though it's kind of just a wayside sort of thing. And more people are interested in Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'll get to that in a second. But regarding Assassin's Creed Unity, at the very least, it's being put on hiatus. I may just cancel it all around. I need to wait until the technical issues with that game get solved, because at this point, it's virtually unplayable. I've been trying my best to just muscle through it and get through everything, but the thing is that I just recorded Part 5, and once again, if you saw Part 4, you'll know, maybe it was Part 3, I'm not sure. One of those, I had to skip a portion of the game because the fucking recording was out of sync, and I thought potentially, just potentially, this could have been my fault. Maybe I screwed something up. Nope. It's the game, apparently, and I think I figured out what the problem was, because this happened again with Part 5. It just progressively got out of sync, and it's one thing for it to be out of sync. I've dealt with that in the past, but never to this extent. I will sync it back up, and literally 10 seconds later, it'll be out of sync again. That's not a problem for a recording that's, say... Well, I mean, it is kind of a problem, but it's not that big of a deal if the recording is, say, 10 minutes. Maybe I'll just let it go every once in a while, let it be out of sync for a few seconds, and then I'll sync it back up. It's extra work, but it's bearable and is capable of being done. But when it's a 40-minute video, that will take too long. It's too fucking long for one video. It's just, that'll take me the entire night, potentially the next night, and at that point, what's the fucking point of it? So, basically, my point of the whole thing is I'm not continuing that series, at least for the time being, for those problems. Oh, and what I figured out that was the issue was that the game will freeze sometimes. It'll just kind of freeze randomly, just out of nowhere. And during that point in time, it'll fuck with the recording of the game, and it'll just throw everything out of whack from that point forward. really annoying, really tiresome, and it just bugs the shit out of me, and it's unacceptable, quite frankly. But even with that, on top of it, you know, there's the frame rate stuff, which I've constantly bitched about. And there's even, like, other stuff other than just that. I mean, there's consistent, like, pop-ups, and there's, like, these weird graphical glitches, and there's so many fucking people on a screen that it's almost unnecessary. It's just, like, all of Assassin's Creed Unity is completely comprised of quantity over quality. Okay, actually, funny enough, I just stole that. I saw the Co-Optional podcast, and I think it was Babylonian or Babylon, whatever his name is, basically looked at the idea of all these NPCs on the screen being the, like, it's kind of a microcosm, that's the word, a microcosm of the game itself, where it's just quantity over quality. You have all these bells and whistles, these pretty graphics, and you know, this great art design, and all these NPCs, but does the game work? No, it doesn't. It constantly dips down to 15 frames per second. That's fucking unplayable. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't see the point in doing the game if I'm constantly just going to be frustrated. The story isn't interesting enough at this point for me to really get into it. And part of me really wishes that I just tried Assassin's Creed Rogue instead, because that was on the PS3. So graphics are going to be smaller, but everything I'm hearing about the story of that game is it's immensely more interesting. And between the two, I was like, if it were on PC, I would have chosen that one. But I didn't because, you know, it wasn't on PC. But if I could go back and do it again, I would absolutely do Rogue. And I might do Rogue in the future, and I might continue Unity in the future, but for now, I don't think so. For now, I think that I'm just going to go ahead and stop it. Especially considering the fact that I'm going to be starting up 2 new series very soon. So, yeah, sorry if any of you happen to be really enjoying the Unity playthrough. It is, at the very least, on hiatus. Now let's go ahead and skip on to Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, this one is not the same sort of problem I'm having with Unity, but I may have to stop that series. I already technically, quote-unquote, beat it. I got through the 5 nights. I'm currently on the 6th night, and I have... How many times have I died at this one? I think I know I've died upwards of 15 times. That last night is so fucking difficult. And the thing is, if I had gotten really close in a few of those attempts, I would be incentivized to continue trying. But the thing is, I've never gotten to 4 a.m. I've never managed to get to 4 a.m. And that is where the problem lies. I just don't think I'm good enough of a Five Nights at Freddy's player to be able to do night 7 or night 6. I hear there's all these custom nights that I could try in night 7, but the problem is I can't get there. I just fucking can't do it. I'm gonna keep trying, but I just want you guys to understand that the likelihood of me posting a night 6 is very low. I just don't see it happening. I might post a night 6 of me just dying constantly, but even then, it's not really entertaining, because by night 6, I'm not even scared. Like, I've seen most of the death animations, and it's really just like, god damn it, this is so fucking frustrating. And so my reactions aren't there. It's purely just me failing constantly, and I don't think really anybody cares about that. If you do, I might post it at some point if I think it's entertaining enough. But, yeah, so that's a thing. I guess I could talk a little bit about what I plan for the future once I finish Far Cry 4 or Inquisition. What I should say about Inquisition is that that's supposed to be a really long game. I heard like 90 or so hours. So don't expect that game to just be something that I brush through. That's going to be a very long series, and I have my fingers crossed that people continue to watch it throughout, because if you don't, I'm gonna look like an asshole. Like, it's one thing to have people enjoying a series for the first like 15 parts, but I anticipate that, you know, Inquisition's gonna be like a 60-part series, which is why I've been so hesitant to do a Mass Effect series, is because it's so big. You know, it's easy for people to get bored with it, you know, after like part 20, which is around how long most of my playthroughs are. It's probably gonna be around the same amount for Far Cry 4. I'll probably do about 20 to 30 parts on that. With a series like that, I mostly just do main missions with a couple of side missions on occasion, so it makes it easy to kind of manage things. But on the other hand, Inquisition, it's so big, it's an RPG, that one's going to be tough. But what's going to happen is I'm going to eventually finish Far Cry 4, and then once that's done, I'm only going to be doing Inquisition. So going into December, it's like, okay, well, I need to find another game. I'm not going to do any more of that one playthrough shit. I did that a lot at the beginning of my channel, and I know that it's something that bugs people. And through the growth of my channel, I've kind of realized that. So I'm knocking that shit off. That's not going to be how it is anymore. So I'll have that series going, and I have 2 other series in mind. I'm not going to say what they are just yet, because I don't want to, you know, be held to any sort of obligation in case something doesn't work out. What I will say is both of the series that I have in mind are games that people have requested in the past. One of them is a horror game, and the other one is a story-based game. And both of them are not short, but they are manageable. They're not Dragon Age Inquisition. They're not going to be 90 hours. They're both no, they are linear games. They're both very linear games, so there is going to be a set path. One of the series, the horror series, I'm planning on doing a playthrough with Alex. I'm hoping that I can do the entire playthrough with him, as well as Chris. If you guys have seen him from my channel, he's been on Would You Rather. He's been on a couple of playthroughs I've done. Most recently, The Last of Us Best Moments playthrough. If you want to check that out. So yeah, I want to do a 3-person playthrough of the horror game, and I will either do the story-based game on my own or with Alex. If anybody who has seen GameWorks, you will know that there's a select few games that he's really covered in the past, and it's one of those games. So if you can just kind of delineate, or I don't think that really works, but if you can just, you know, rummage through his videos, look through and see, okay, which one is the story-based game that he's gone over that Jake could possibly be talking about, and figure it out yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right now, because I don't think I have anything else interesting to say. I hope this helped anybody who was curious about what's going on with the channel. Hope it kind of shed some light on some stuff. And yeah, that's about it. So please be sure to like the video and all that, and I will see you guys next time.